Hey folks, welcome back to Let's Play Trials of Mana. I'm the Mysterious JG. If I end this video at a good stopping point, I'll probably try to call it a session and think about either playing something else or just... I don't know, I mean, I could do more off-screen grinding to get more skill points, but... I'm really just trying to not get too far ahead in this game, but it is nice to play when I'm not feeling very well. Let's see. Oh, this is a boss arena, for sure. Oh, and it's just here. We don't see the stone crack and him come out of it. Oh no, he's got the power to reduce the battery power of my controller. Ew! This is the Benevolent of Light. It's got holy powers. You, as a Grand Divina, should be all about it, but no, she just thinks it's gross. Oh, she's got Darksaber, which will actually be useful here. But we are going to cast Dark Curse.
Hey, watch it! I can save this one! I'm on the job! I can save this one! I can save this one!
We'll give Duran Darksaber, because that will help him.
Don't keep me waiting.
She's been casting Evil Gate too, which is probably more effective. I have taken off the thing that gives you, you power up an element by using it more times in a row. It just wasn't that... It wasn't probably helping, the spell she was using the most, so... Boomerang special, bitch.
I'm on the job. Magic suddenly gets stronger. Why?
Okay, so that busted it out of... So, she keeps casting Evil Gate when I'm not controlling her. She would be a pretty decent one for us to let the computer control, actually. But yeah, we kind of crushed that. Like we said, its magic is getting stronger. They do have a tendency to go for a big attack where you gotta hit them real hard to knock them out of it, and then you have an exploitable weakness. But that was... Man, that's probably why I shouldn't be off-screening so much. It is that, you know, the God Beast should be pretty challenging, or ish. I always felt like they weren't that hard fights to win, but they took a long time because they had so many hit points. But we just kind of crushed that one. Maybe there is something to the fact that the first ones you take on are easier and they get harder as you go. Nothing to say about this, guys?
Don't keep me waiting.
Well, I guess we immediately... Oh! Hello. Nicolo? No, I'm Chiquita. Though we are related, so I can understand meow confusion. It's more difficult as cat folks to live nomadic lifestyles and make ends meet peddling wares. Though, from what I heard, Nicolo gave up his merchant career and set on his meow. But enough about that, since meow here, do you meow need anything? Meow?
Welcome.
I'm a girl, by the way, it turns out.
I have a wide variety of weapons for you to peruse.
Well, these are expensive, too. Oh, what am I kidding? I got 245k, and these are in the 12k price range.
Looks good.
A Mimrod. Oh, Mimrod. Druid Staff. Sure.
I'll make use of this.
A perfect choice, I must say.
Ooh, exciting.
It's a Sybil Flail. Basil!
You're welcome. Come again.
What? I'm not Nicolo. My name is Josephine. Nicolo and I were together. But Nicolo also always wanted to join the noble thieves. He left on a while ago. I miss him, but since we are here, do you need anything?
Welcome.
Without quality armor, it won't matter how good your weapons are.
No, Leonis. See, I got something from
Good quality.
a seed for him, but I guess it wasn't as good as this.
These should do you well.
Looks good.
I want to have one of these on
These should
hand,
do you well.
even if I don't equip it.
This is good quality.
So right now they got the poison immunity. She got better stuff, it looks like, from... Oh, this cancels out freezing attack. Oh, it's only for Charlotte, though.
I love shopping.
I'm not even going to wear this shit.
These should do you well.
Ooh, this one's expensive, the Glimmer Robe.
Good work.
Yeah, this is taking a bite out of our money, alright.
Ooh, exciting.
And I'm not selling stuff because I'm reminded that eventually
These should do you well.
I will reach a point where... Did we buy? No, we didn't buy it.
Good work.
We'll reach a point where I am switching classes and some of this gear will not be accessible. Like the dark versions of Angela won't be able to wear the stuff that she could wear if she wasn't so evil. But it won't consider it slutty enough, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, there you go. Full clear. No point hanging around. And I think I was going to go for wood next, so let's go. Let's do it. Get rid of that, you know, then, unless I want to grind for more question seeds. And they don't do me any good right now, because if I decide to get later in the game, I get the item that lets you reset, and then switch to the dark path. Any question seeds I get right now are going to, if they drop anything for Angela, it'll be for her light path. She would need to be in the Delvar role before she can get dark.
We took one of those Benevodons down.
Yeah, I was wondering when you were going to
Guess I
say something
shouldn't be
about it.
surprised how strong a Benevodon is. Let's keep up this momentum, everyone.
You did it! But the longer the Benevodons are left alone, the more powerful they become.
So don't feel good about yourselves or anything.
Hard about where the other 7 might be. You got this.
And going and talking to the King of Reason, or King of Hero King right now, sorry, doesn't do anything. I tried that off screen just for the hell of it. His generic, the rest is up to you, good luck speech from the last time we had actual dialogue with him is still what he says. So if I've been confusing you with my talk about question seeds... Oh, we actually did pick one up in the meantime, too. They drop these items. Now, you know, the Battler and the Duelist, the Grand Divina, and whatever the other ones are. These are the class change items for the 2 dark Duran paths, the 2 light Angela paths, the 2 dark Charlotte paths. If I had chosen the dark path for Angela before, for her first class change, one of the 2 dark books would be dropping. So I could hold on to these seeds, and if I back out later, maybe when I use them as her Delvar class, they'll... But they might be locked in now to what they give. I don't exactly know how that works with the question seeds. I know in the original Secret of Mana, like for the Super NES, you could save state and get the items you wanted. Doesn't appear to really work quite that way in this game. I'm wondering if they're selling the same stuff.
Welcome. I have a
would expect they are selling the same stuff. Yeah.
You're welcome. Come again.
Welcome.
Without quality armor, it
Yep,
won't
it's the same
Come
stuff.
again.
That's fine. So now let's head for the secret dungeon of platforming for some ungodly reason. We've got one little cactus that we need to get in this area, but there's apparently another one. And it's nighttime. It's the right time to be with the place you hate, which is side-scroller dungeon. And what is clearly not a side-scroller game. Luckily, your friends don't take damage from landing in the poison. They don't punish you for that. this where I got a little cactus before or something? No, I got something over here before. So it might be that we come back to this screen a couple of times. That the one that doesn't have an overhead map is just called that. This place also... Oh, Woods of Wandara overall may have 2 little cactuses. I can't be bothered to fight you guys. I fought you guys a ton of times off screen. I don't care.
Here I go.
Now this battle I do off screen every time because these are the enemies that drop the question spells, and they're clustered together. So this is like just a decent chance to get a question mark seed.
Aw, it's just getting started.
Which we didn't. We got a BI. And there's a few similar spots on the next screen. Yeah, just keep saying 1 of 2. So I don't think that means every one of these screens has 1. So here it's like you've got this jumping puzzle. There doesn't appear to be any reason to do it, though, because it's slightly hidden, and they give it away with this. You can just ignore the jumping puzzle. There doesn't appear to be any reward for completing the jumping puzzle when you could avoid it. This kind of looked like a place you could go, but it wasn't. Here's another screen. I don't feel like fighting anything because this was also part of my off-screening. Don't remember how far we got. This corner down here just has a battle that has a couple of these B-girls. And the caterpillars on the ground are annoying, though, because they do a lot of charging attacks that can knock Angela out of her casting. So you're using your casting to try to quickly kill the B-girls because they're the ones who drop the thing you care about. And this is the first screen that I just never actually visited in my off-screening. Well, that's not true. I would come here to reset enemies, but I never actually started doing the... Oh, see, now you have to drop down here to get that. Okay. You guys are not going to be following me in my jumping adventures. That's okay. You can teleport to catch up with me later. Oh. Well, never mind. I thought something... Okay. I guess unless you care about the items, you don't need to really do the jumping part correctly. Okay, so let's pay attention, because this seems like the most likely place for a little cactus might be.
All right.
Doppelganger! Queen bees actually have some decent area of effect stuff that can really mess you up if you don't avoid it too. Alright, Duran, you're kind of... Oh, actually nobody's got full blue points because I used so many of them on the Benevodon. Which is, I mean, not a bad time to be using them. It's not like it was a really wasteful, but... So... Oh, here we go. There's got to be some reason to come up here. Well, maybe you're the only reason to come up here. Well, somewhere along the way here, we need to find us a little cactus. We're going to be doomed to come back to this place again off screen. Hunting for Kadama style. Okay, so... I'm not 100% sure what happened, folks, but when I went to process this video, I've had, one or two videos recently... Well, no, only one. I had one video recently where I just didn't get my live commentary track to record. I didn't realize until after the video was done. That was actually, I haven't been advertising it, but that was actually a Death Stranding video where, just for the hell of it, I managed to get a hold of Bobo the Vulture and through the Magic Discord did post-commentary with Bobo. I had a very recent video, probably will be up before this one, where I actually grabbed him to do live commentary on something, and that was fun. But yeah, sometimes you have your commentary track, just doesn't take And this one, the first 14 minutes of the commentary track took, and then the rest wasn't there. So I'm doing post-commentary, but only on part of the video. And Bobo's not here, by the way, before you get too excited. So, yeah. And oddly, it was also the last video. I did a whole bunch of these. So this is the first time I've done commentary on Trials of Mana without feeling like death warmed over in quite a while, because I'm actually not doing this right in the middle of an infusion weekend, or even while recovering from a recent infusion. This is a non-infusion weekend. I actually feel about as good as I physically am going to feel for a week on either side of today. But, yeah, so for whatever reason, I'm having to do post-commentary as I know at this point we're sneaking up on the boss. I'm still trying to figure out, well, yeah, that spot there has got to be the boss, but I guess we'll go look for that one last... I'm still looking to see if there's like a treasure chest or a little cactus we're missing, but I guess we're going to have to deal with Evil Pumpkin Man first.
A pumpkin benevodon? That is
Oh no, it's... Yeah.
scary to me.
She's right. Pumpkin Benevodon doesn't look that scary. And with Fairy gone, there's nobody to actually respond to her, because usually the little, like, right before a boss fight comments from Angelo will be answered by Fairy. Because if Duran was our primary, he'd have a little comment on the boss that Fairy would respond to. They're always usually willing to have Fairy talk, because she's always going to be there, except she's not at this point. So anyway, I've got Shawat is using Dark Curse, and it's tough to know how to use it on these bosses with multiple parts, but the point is that it lowers their stats, so it should be useful. And briefly thinking about, do we have a saber that will work particularly well on anybody? Anyway, she's putting Dark Curse on these little side bits. I'm flashing back a little bit to one of the more annoying bosses from Lost Castle here. I've never really understood the whole scary pumpkin head monster thing. Oh, and I think I'm surprised to find out this thing's weak against thunder. So I've actually got some of these. I figured it was probably wood elemental because it's the Benevodon of wood, but I'm not clear on what the opposite, what damages wood in this game. I figured moon and wood are probably opposites for some reason, the same way that like fire and ice are opposites, and usually wind and earth are opposites in this game as far as what takes damage from what, and obviously the darkness element and the holy element. But apparently this thing takes damage from lightning, and that's fine, because we're taking a lot of damage here. Angela's actually in pretty bad shape. I'm having to switch to Charlotte to make sure the healing keeps up. Yeah, what do I want to say before this thing ends? I've never personally understood the, ooh, it's a pumpkin head monster, it's scary. Like, I don't get that. I'm with Angela on this. I don't know why that's scary, but it's part of, like, you know, horror mythology, the horror mythos of various, you know, the, my niece was really into, for a little while, maybe it was a Disney version that she saw, or maybe some other version, but she was into the whole Headless Horseman thing. And at one point she wanted to play around some kind of game that involved running around and chasing, and there was a Headless Horseman involved. And at one point I was the Headless Horseman. I was like, okay, so am I gonna like chase you? And she's like, no, you're the Headless Horseman and I'm the Headless Horseman's sister. Like, I didn't know why she wasn't the Headless Horseman and I was the Headless Horseman's brother, but we played a game where I was a Headless Horseman and she was a Headless Horseman's sister. It was cute. Meantime, Pumpkinhead falls off and explodes, and you're like, oh, is this going to be a plot thing where they're devastated? And no, it just kind of blows up and they don't really seem to care. So do we get some dialogue now? We just defeated a Benevodon. I know it's not the first Benevodon we defeated, but that's a big deal, right? It's an unstoppable god of destruction that we just like smacked down using our lightning magic. And I think the answer is no dialogue. We might have some dialogue as we're actually leaving the area. So we've got training points to distribute, I believe, for Angela. Oh, I'm having to figure it out because I guess I've maxed out her intelligence at this point, haven't I? Oh, I don't remember. There's not a whole lot of point in me trying to come up with compelling post-commentary here because whatever I was talking about live was my thought process, and I don't remember it in great detail, but I think I'm just trying to figure out what skills that I would actually care about for her are we close to obtaining, and so I put everything into stamina so that we can get Earthquake Plus. It's less of a decision for everyone else because Angela, like her actual active skills, are so dependent on where you spend your training points. Whereas with everyone else, usually there's like active skills are going to come from their chief attribute, and their other attributes are going to give you passives, and you can kind of figure out which passives you care about. And it's not even passives, it's those, well, it is passives, I guess, but you have a limited number of slots for these passives. So you can unlock all sorts of things that seem kind of nice, but they're just not as important to you as the passives you're already using, so they don't matter that much. Like broken lines, I didn't even know what that does here post commentary because I was talking. But I just got done saying, okay, well, I'll look and see what he's already got and not just immediately dismiss it, but it does not look like I'm going to actually use broken lines. Now we'll see what Charlotte has. She has, it's like similar to Angela, she maxed out Spirit, because that gives her a lot of actives, and Angela's best actives came from Intelligence. Even though, as much fun as Doppelganger is, yeah, if an enemy has an elemental weakness, it's better to be using that. And now I guess Charlotte must have unlocked a skill that can be used by any party member, so I'm trying to figure out if it's anything we should be taking away from Angela. Some of the passives are always there because they're specific to your class. And Angela has this thing where she restores like 20% or 25%, whatever. She gets MP back after every fight, which makes a huge difference. With any Angela class, I guess you can equip things to give her MPs, but like earlier in the game, I was like using skills where I was going around whacking stuff with charge hit or strong hits or whatever because that would give me small amounts of MP. Now that kind of thing doesn't matter too much. You saw those little cat marketing consultants, I don't know, the traveling cat salespeople. Oh, and I think here I'm noticing, oh crap, poison. I'd had her equipped with something that prevented poison this whole time. Hadn't really thought about it. Hadn't noticed, oh, it seems like a small penalty for failing around this area. And that's because you just take 1 damage from falling into the bad place and then you don't get poison, and the whole point is that you get poison. But I equipped her with something that reduced wood damage by 50%, thinking that would be important for that fight, although I'm not sure that it helped at all. I'm not sure that any of the attacks were elemental, because she was taking full damage from lots of physical attacks. But yeah, now everybody's back to being immune to poison. Again, it's only your lead character who actually gets hurt by any of this, which I have mixed feelings about. That seems kind of like there's... Yeah, before these mushrooms do more damage than they've already done by not doing any damage. But, what was I getting at? Yeah, I have mixed feelings about whether it's good that those jumping puzzles, any failures. Is there a reason that Charlotte and Durand wouldn't take damage from falling into the damage zones? No, there's not. There's no lore reason. It doesn't make sense. From a gameplay perspective, is it fair when the player is really not directly able to control that? They can maybe kind of, sort of, but it's a real stretch to say that they're controlling it. And therefore they shouldn't be punished for those characters diving into the damage zone? Yes, that's true. So I guess I don't know what the right answer is in this situation. Anyway, I'm going to go through this and then kind of probably realized near the end that it didn't really matter that much. There I was trying to figure out if I even understood how the platform worked. But we're going to go down a different path this time, because at this point we're basically just... I know there's one more... Is it one more treasure chest, or is it one more... I think it's one more little cactus, right? I think... I'm trying to remember. It's been a couple of days. I think I had unlocked the ability to see little cacti. Not to see them, but to tell how many there were in a dungeon. That's right. I do have that. I was thinking, do I unlock that with this little cactus? No. I already have it. So now I'm taking the path that you get when you don't succeed in this jumping puzzle. And I'm figuring, little cactus is probably got to be in here somewhere. And I don't know exactly when it happens, guys, but I do know that at some point I actually looked up where this thing is, because I didn't really feel like wandering around forever in this dungeon that I spent a lot of time in off screen, because it's where I grinded for question seeds. And there's no more reason to be here. Now that we've beaten the Benevodon, we never have to come back here again, other than to find this little cactus. So I believe I just, at some point... Oh, I know what it is. We're going to search this whole area, which is the way you have to get to the boss if you didn't win that jumping puzzle. And by the way, your big penalty for not winning the jumping puzzle is there's some enemies between you. We are getting stronger. There's enemies between you and a big gold statue. But either way, the gold statue is right before the boss. There's one on this path, too. Meaning that it's not really much of a penalty at all for failing that jumping puzzle, and to really do things properly, you probably want to go both ways to full clear anyway. But yeah, I look around here real carefully. I think I was like, oh, that had to be where the little cactus was. That's like a perfect place to hide a little cactus. I think what ends up happening here is we look around this whole screen and eventually find it's not here. And I've been to every room of this place at that point. And finally, I just check where it is, and we go there, and we call it a video. So now we're just hanging out, guys. We've got 10 minutes to kill here. I don't have the excitement of live commentary, you know, because I kind of just told you what's going to happen. We're going to wander around here for a while and not find a little cactus. Now we found a bumpkin. We have that day-night switch. In this case, the night-day switch, which always weirds me out when it happens, because it always seems like, oh, did we just, like, trigger some kind of death trap? Like, oh, like, is there some plot event about to happen? Like, oh no, we just froze for a second and then had day and night switch. It's a terrible night to have a curse. And then I can never remember what the flip side of that coin is. I can never remember what it says when you come out of a curse. Or you come out of the night, rather. So there's like super charged up ones. Kind of a pain to get to connect, but they can be useful against these guys because you just need to get the damn armor off them. And that usually does it in one attack. And again, they're not that bad if there's only one of them, but when there's two of them, or three of them, yeah, you got your attack lined up on one, and then one that you can't see suddenly comes barreling in and breaks up your charge. So here's like, I can't even get freaking Doppelganger off. Blah, blah. As if. Blah, blah. Now it's like a spite thing. I need to get this off. Oh, that's right. It's not Doppelganger. It's a Doppelganger. Anyway, it's nice that we've gone the light path with Angela so that she can be a pure soul and not evil, but she still does seem to get quite a bit of enjoyment out of, like, dealing devastating magical damage to enemies. So we're back in the zone of the boss here. To get all of our blue points back. I don't remember what they're called. They have a name. They are not officially known as blue points. I feel like somebody could tell me. Oh, and somebody suggested, and this is many videos ago because I record this one so far ahead. But somebody suggested I put a link to the old Secret of Mana 2 Let's Play with Bobo in my description of my videos, and that's not a terrible idea, except I don't know how many people are reading the descriptions anyway. And at this point, it would involve a lot of work to go in and add that to every video. But it's not a bad idea. Whoever made that suggestion, I guess I'll have to think about it. So now I'm like talking away. I think this might be where I'm actually just like asking you guys to wait and probably vamping while I look for the location of this little cactus so that we can just get it and call it a video, because this will also be the end of a session for me. So I was like, it would just be nice if as I wrap this session up, I have no more reason, unless I choose to do it for my own weird purposes, like wanting to stockpile question seeds, which I don't think I'll have any further use for. I wouldn't have any other reason to come to this zone once we get this little cactus. I know I already talked about this, but I don't know if it was in this video where half of my commentary disappeared, so I'll repeat that I did a little reading up on how because this game allows you to reset class, so you can explore different character classes for the same character, which is something that the original Secret of Mana, or Seiken and Densetsu 3 did not allow you to do. So I always thought that was like a neat idea, particularly because the game already has a thing where you can pick your outfit, like because it's just palette swaps in the old game. Like, you know, Angela has purple hair as a sorceress or magician, whatever her default class is called. But if she goes down the dark path, she might get a different hair color. If she goes down the light path, and her outfit will have different color, but there's no actual changes to costume. This one gives you full-on costume changes. So I'm going to have to imagine it's the girls. Potentially sex appeal for guys who are into cartoon girls like Angela or Reese. Hopefully not Charlotte. And then for girls playing the game, I think it would also be the female characters. Like if you're a fairly young girl playing this game, and other than the fact that she doesn't really read that well yet, like I think my niece would love this game. If she was, a better reader, she might need a little help figuring out. Like on normal difficulty, like I don't know how much she would get into figuring out skills and stuff. So yeah, it's probably a little too. She's like 6. I'm being silly. But as far as the story and characterization, I think she would love this game. The gameplay mechanics probably a little complex, but yeah, like a maybe an 8 or 9-year-old girl playing this game might be into like different outfits on the female characters too, right? What point am I getting at? The game gives you the option of setting a costume for your character other than the one that actually belongs to her class, but it's only, and we just found a little cactus, but it's only one you've already unlocked. So, and we just got 3 times boost, occasional 3 times boost to experience. So that's nice, I guess. If I do any more grinding, it would be for post-game purposes, but that will make it a little bit more efficient. But this long train of thought I was going down with the outfits was when I found out, oh, there is a way that you can reset your costumes. Like, okay, well, you'd have to grind for extra question seeds, but you could, in theory, see everybody in every class, then pick your favorite class for a moveset, and then pick your favorite costume from all the classes, and just have, like, Angela could wear one of her dark outfits while using her light skill set. And the same thing goes for everyone else, but I think it's Angela and Rise, let's face it, that people would care about. Well, it turns out those items that allow you to reset, they're not something any enemy drops. There's a finite number of them, and none of them are available before you get to the end of the main story and are into the post-game. So at that point, it's like, well, if you really want to see a different path for a character, wouldn't you just play through the game again and choose different paths? You probably would. At this point, I think I'm just bemoaning the fact that, I think I was talking about this, because now I'm seeing how many seeds I have, or how many things I have of each type, and you'd want like 2 of each just to be on the safe side. You can see all the different classes and then decide which one you want to default back to at the end. And I actually did some reading with Angela. I looked at the character classes for everybody. Angela has more of a traditional witch's outfit with, like, dark colors, but not super like one of her dark classes. She's like basically wearing a bikini. It's a little like weird, but she's got something that looks kind of like a traditional witch's outfit. I don't remember whether she has a pointed cap or not. But yeah, it's also like her weakest class for the end of the game. It's the one I used in Zwei, einen, Densetsu 3 that has a death spell. But in this game, the death spell doesn't really work the same way. It's not as good. And the death spell was really the only thing about that class that was outstanding. Like, all the other classes have
Two monsters down.
kind of
Only
better
6 left.
stuff.
Let's hurry.
I think one of her light classes has a...
Just 6 left. We can do this.
Well, then my fairy is with us, so why didn't she hop in and... Why didn't she hop in and say something when Angela's making fun of Pumpkinhead Monster? Well, whatever. Okay, I've been talking around in circles, but yeah, and again, I might be repeating stuff I've said. I just can't remember if it was the commentary track I'm replacing or I was already talking about this nonsense, but if I decided, oh, I like Angela's outfit from this class, but I want her skill set from this class, I couldn't do anything about it until post-game, and it's just kind of silly and probably not worth bothering with, but I might do it. But since you only have so many of the items that reset people's classes, I was thinking like, oh, there's some place you could grind for them. You could do that with all your characters. You could have everybody unlock all of their costumes in a single playthrough, and then you'd have a save slot where you could just use whatever you want. It's not going to work that way. You don't have enough. You don't have enough of the items that reset people's classes. So now, as we are about to wrap up, we came back to the Moon Reading Tower, I believe it's called. I'm vaguely thinking, I'm remembering that in the Zwei, einen, Densetsu 3, it's kind of implied that the sooner you defeat a god beast, the weaker it is, and that the ones you defeat later might be powered up, and they could easily do something like that with just hit points, right? So I went after the ones where the elements are like kind of weird and goofy and hard for me to think of counters for, like Holy, and then a Wood, and now Moon will be last. And after that, we'll be going after stuff where we'll obviously know what the counter is for each individual class, because we'll have Ice and Fire, Earth and Wind, etc. But as we call it a video now, when we come back next time, we will be fighting our way through Moon Reading Tower and trying to get our hands on the Moon guy. And now I've gone over, so I really need to cut out. Catch you guys next time when hopefully my commentary track will work.